Opening statement. Please raise your hand for questions. Coach?
First of all, extremely proud of our whole organization. You know, from the moment our season ended last year, in our off season, we talked about this game. We had it circled. We talked about it all throughout winter workouts, through spring practice, through the summer, and we had different guys that had played in this program, that are still on this team, that have played in this game, to speak to what it means to win this game. And we brought people from the outside that played at Cincinnati. I mean, just so many different things that we did to embody what it means for this game. So in our heads, before we even got here, we were getting that bell back, and I think, and we knew it was going to be a fight. We knew it was going to be a dog fight. We didn't know how long it was going to take. It ended up taking the whole game. And what I loved about it was a complete team win, offense, defense, and kicking. Can't say enough about the fight for those guys. I mean, it wasn't beautiful. We still gave up some deep shots for touchdowns that obviously we don't like. But I think in true form, Corey Connor did what he does. He runs the ball so hard, he breaks tackles. He ended up over 100 yards again today. Xavier Henderson, Joe Royer, two of our top targets, I thought had big days today. I mean, Joe scored 2 touchdowns, and neither one of them counted, which is unfortunate. 2 of the oddest plays. Xavier was very solid again today. I thought Brendan played a very solid game as well. And then our special teams was huge today. We have not been complete in our special teams thus far, but we covered well. We get a turnover on the punt team. We knocked down 2 50-yard plus field goals. It's the first time it's ever been done in the history of Cincinnati by a guy who's never kicked a field goal for us. And there's an incredible story. Nathan Hawks, what he was able to accomplish today. But I'm going to tell you, it just goes to show you, if you work hard and you keep doing what you're supposed to do, when you get your opportunity, you're going to shine. And that's what he did. He never said anything. He just kept kicking. All camp did a great job for us, and never knew when your number was going to get called. And it got called today in a big-time way to be able to make these 2 field goals. So I'm really proud of him. And now it sets us up for our conference season starts next week with Houston.
Did you sense a different attitude in the locker room before this game today compared to the first 2 games of the season?
Well, I mean, I've really sensed it all week. I think obviously we're disappointed with the fourth quarter of last week's game, and I thought our guys came back Sunday, to be on a mission this week. It started at practice on Sunday, quite honestly. I mean, it's not a short practice, but the boys were very intentional about their approach. We had a really good approach this whole week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I mean, every day, ring the bell. That's all our guys kept thinking, So it just draws a focus, a laser focus on what needs to be accomplished.
Is that something y'all said all week, ring the bell?
Oh, yeah. We wanted to ring the bell. And that's downstairs is what you kept hearing. As soon as we got it, they just kept ringing it. When you work so hard, and that's, obviously this game has been around for a long time. It was the 128th meeting, and now we're on top, 61, 60, and 7. And so we just put a huge emphasis on it, and we were not leaving until we got the bell.
How often did you hear that this week?
We heard it a lot. Every time somebody broke it down as a team, that's what it was ring the bell. Every time somebody got up to speak, that's what you heard. It was just, just a laser focus on getting this bell.
When did you tell Hawks, and are you shocked? I mean, your first 2 field goals, 50 and 55.
Yeah.
Those are long goals.
Well, again, I said this maybe at the press conference on Tuesday that we were competing. We compete at every position, but we're obviously the kicker situation. We needed to be able to compete for that. We saw practice Tuesday, Wednesday, as we got into Thursday, and then really I think yesterday told Nathan he was going, and then you never know when your number's going to get called, man. It happened to be 2 long ones out here today. But when he puts his head down, and when you don't even have to look at the ball, you can hear it. When you hear that thump, you know it's going in. I mean, he's been very confident in his approach, and which I obviously love, and he didn't waver today.
Your defense bent but didn't break in the second half. What was the challenge to them on the sideline to not have a repeat of last week?
Yeah, when we got up 2 scores, I think they took a 14 or 15 play drive, went down the field, but we wanted to make them have to earn that and not give up a quick one. And they ended up scoring, going for 2, didn't get it. That was big for our defense to hold them there, to keep it with 8 points. And then they get the ball back and they drive down again. We stop them on 4th down. I mean, this game is crazy. I mean, sometimes teams are going to move the ball on you, but if you keep them out of the end zone, it gives you a chance to win. I mean, even their first drive, I think it was their first drive, they threw a pick. We intercepted down near the end zone. So, obviously we're not where we need to be yet defensively, but it's certainly a step in the right direction. I think our run defense was pretty good today. We kept them and made them one-dimensional. Obviously we got to just stay on top. I mean, we gave up a couple of those throws. And number 15 is a solid player. I mean, he made a couple contested vertical throws, made some good catches there. And Gabbert's, man, he's a 6-year player. what was he in 2020, MAC freshman of the year or something like that. I mean, he's played a lot of football. He's a good quarterback. He's got a live arm. So we knew it was going to be a test.
How huge was Henderson's reliance today, just knowing you could go to him in that intermediate area? You needed quick yards.
Yeah, I mean, Xavier, man, he's a solid player. He's very consistent. You know what you're going to get out of him. I think Brendan really believes in him. He'll make the plays for him. And I think their corner number 13, the boundary corner, is a solid player. He's a really good player, and so it made us earn some of those plays right there. But he's a consistent player. I mean, we know we're going to go get to him in situations where we need to get 10, 11, 12 yards, and he's able to get that.
You talked about the defensive line. Obviously, Cam Rutherford's shifted to that edge position. Just talk about what you saw from him there.
Yeah, it's kind of been musical chairs up front. We know that when you lose a couple of guys like we did preseason, for the season with Coleman and Hunt, and then we didn't have who's the guy that was out today with the elbow was out. Rob Jackson was out today too. So there's another guy, a defensive end that plays. So we just felt like try to get a little bit more size. Let's put him outside and see what he can do. Parker got a lot more snaps today as well. I think last week maybe 10 or 12, probably today over 20. Really just trying to find some guys that we can get in there, even though they're young and inexperienced, just to get in there and mix it up and make some plays. So overall I think he played solid.
When you call it the play for Pryor, is that one that you feel pretty confident that he's going to take it, or is it just all in?
Yeah, we ran that early in the game and Pryor hit it. We missed the block out on the perimeter, but I think he got 6 yards. It was the first drive. So, we came back to it because they just over-pursuing. So you run the counter back off that outside zone. And I thought also at the time we had wore their defense down. So right before half, I think we had a 14 or 15 play drive, maybe 8 or 9 minutes, went 95 yards and didn't get any points. But I did think we wore them down. We came back out in the second half and had another 15 play drive. And at that point, I think they were a little bit tired. And then we hit that counter on them. And I think when he hit the edge, if you go back and watch it, he outruns an inside linebacker and a free safety to get to the perimeter. And great blocks down the field. Xavier Henderson on down the sideline to spring him for a touchdown.
Going along with that play, you guys had just 43 rushing yards at the half. You finished with 215. What were the key adjustments you made at the half to come back out and really pound them in the second half on the ground?
Yeah, I mean, we just challenged the guys up front, say, listen, we're going, because I felt like in the first half we didn't really get it established to get it going. We were more throwing it, and so second half again, trying to wear them down a little bit. We thought we did, and then Corey kind of did what he did and broke a lot of tackles, getting tough yards. Even the last field goal, I mean, he broke some great tackles to get all the way down and get in the field goal range to wear them down. It was amazing that you end up over 200 yards rushing when we were struggling, I think, early in the game. But just challenged the boys up front, and they came through for us.
Speaking of the guys up front, D'Artagnan goes down after getting Beard to roll up on. Do you just have any update on him?
No, I mean, obviously, I think we'll go back, probably have to do some x-rays and that type thing on a lower leg injury, and see where we're at with him. He got dinged up a little bit at the Pitt game as well. I think missed some practice early in the practice past week, so I'm not sure, maybe the same thing, but we'll have to go back and see.
Eric Phillips had 2 big sacks. What's it mean that someone who's been in this rivalry for so long made 2 big plays to kind of seal it?
Last night in our Friday night meeting, the very first thing I told our team, I said, when you get a chance and opportunity, you got to make the play. And I specifically said, Eric Phillips, I'm talking to you. Because he had a chance last week in the game against Pitt, and it slipped through his hands. And I said, you get that opportunity to get in the backfield, because he gets there a lot in practice. And that's why I tell him, you're back in the backfield for us. Get him down. You can hit the quarterback. It's a game, Against us, you can't hit us. And he did it, man. So I pointed at him when he got his first sack. And I mean, so that's great, because he's got the ability to get to the quarterback. It's just a matter of getting him down. That was huge plays for him.
You get the name ball to Rick Flick. That's pretty significant.
Yeah, Rick Flick, for those of you who don't know, 11 years ago here, his son was a player leaving this game and got killed in a car accident. And and he does so many great things for our program behind the scenes. Helps us travel, pack stuff, anything that needs to be done, he's there. A loyal supporter, but physically here doing the work for us. And I just felt, man, I don't know when we're ever coming back here again, and it's just fitting for us because I told the guys in the locker room, it takes every single one of us, our players, our whole staff. We got a huge organization, a guy like Rick Flick, but I wanted to recognize him in front of the whole team for the things that he does for this program. That was a tough loss for him 11 years ago. It's very emotional for him to be here and for him to win like that. We wanted to give him the game ball.
Second straight week, defense in the first possession gets an interception. What kind of tone does that set, not only for the defense, but for the team overall?
Yeah, it's exciting. I think it's those momentum plays, particularly when the team, they were moving the ball down the field, and all of a sudden, just like last week, and they throw the ball up down the middle, our guys go and make the play, get their hands on it, make the play. I mean, that was huge. The turnovers were big today. We get that turnover, and obviously they get the punter muffed it, and we scored the next play. I mean, we won the turnover margin today, and that's one of the reasons we won the game.
Josh Minkins wasn't able to go today, but he was very involved on the sidelines, very energetic, coaching up the defense. Just talk about what it means to have his leadership there on the sideline in a big game like this.
Yeah, Josh, man, even though he just got here, it's been he's probably the biggest cheerleader when he's not playing, and he does that even when he's dressed out playing in the game. I mean, he's just cheering for his teammates. He brings great energy on the sideline, but he's also a great player. Missed him out there today. He was one of the ones that got the pick last week against Pitt early in the game. I think hopefully he's close to coming back this week. He feels a lot better now, obviously, than last week, and he told me I'm coming back next week. So, it's a big game, obviously, next week. We got Houston, man. It's the start of the conference Big 12 season. We're excited about it, going back to Nippert. I think we got to take the momentum that we have right now after this big win and parlay it into something great.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks, guys.
Yep.